Hi guys, nimerudi tena with my last bit of my boarding school chronicles. And so I finished school, gotten my results, gotten admitted to South Tetu Girls High School. I'm so excited because, I mean, if you've dreamt to go somewhere for a long time and you've made it there through your own effort, that means something, yeah? So I don't remember how the admission letter got to the house, but all I remember was on the admission letter, there was a panga. Like, it was a must I go with a panga to school. And in my mind, I'm like, hey, these workers in this school, they must be very fortunate. Like, every person is going to carry a panga to them, for them. But who's going to file these pangas? Do they work with blunt pangas? Or they have the, you know, that thing that you kanyanga like a bike to file knives and pangas? Okay, I came to get the shock of my lifetime. Anyway, so now we go to school. And we are all put together. We are told to go in the hall. We're going to be staying in the dining hall until we are assigned classes. And at the end of that week, I got assigned to go to the Q class. So I was going to study in 1Q, 2Q, 3Q, and 4Q. That is very important. And sasa, I remember when the first time we were assigned classes, we were given desks and lockers and everything. And then we started making noise. It's like we had known one another and we started making noise. We were causing commotion. And the first day we were given classes, we got a punishment to kneel down. Like, I don't even know we knelt down for how long, yeah? That opened the gates for the Q class being the infamous 4Q, 1Q to 4Q. So in this video, I'm going to highlight the most prominent things that happened when I was in high school, or the things that make me remember high school. Yeah. So remember, I told you that we bought pangas in school, and in my mind, I was thinking that those pangas were meant for people who had been employed by the school to maintain the short grass everywhere. To my shock and uttermost shock, I found out that we were the ones. Those pangas were for us. So one time we've been told, 1Q, you will clean that bit. 2Q, every class was assigned a place where they were going to cut grass until we were finished, yes? So I remember 1Q, we were given the area that housed the basketball pitch. And when we were there cutting the grass, people were like, me, I'll transfer. Me, I was not made for this. Me, I can't do this thing anymore. And I don't know what I'm going to transfer. Even me, I was in the league that was transferring because maybe I didn't want to cut grass. But remember, I was told there's no transferring. So it's the only option I have is stay in South Tetu or stay in South Tetu. There's no way out. So I used to say I'm going to transfer, but at the back of my mind, I know, Terry, you're not going anywhere. Get over this cutting grass scenario and move on. And I'm telling you, everybody who said they're going to transfer in that class, I don't remember anyone transferring. Ama, are you 4Q alumni? Kuna mtu ali transfer and I don't know, you know, you can calm my mind, refresh my mind, yeah? In Form 1, there was not much things because we were still trying to get used. Here and there, we used to get punished for people being mischievous, you know, and stuff like that. Then we came to Form 2. In Form 2, first term, there's usually set books. So Form 4s used to go to other schools, or other schools come to our school, and then the set book would be played. So this one time, I think it was Mokoreni Boys that was coming to our school and for set books. And so we were told, if you know you have no business attending the set books, you should not be seen out loitering. Okay, fine and good. So I remember one lady, I think she knew someone or she was having a boyfriend, I have no idea. She decided to skip the last lesson for the day to go and hang out with her friend. Now, during this class, it was a geography or history class. And since it was still first term, mwalimu wako amejua who is who in her class or in his class. So she could have easily gotten away with it. But in her naivety or in her foolishness, sorry, whoever you are, she decided to just walk with her boyfriend hapo tu kwa dirisha, and they are just going and walking, and the teacher sees her, and it was a geography lesson. It was for that teacher who was called Mrs. Rufande, she saw that girl and she's like, isn't that so and so, and she's supposed to be in my class. And what does she do? She goes and forwards her to the principal. So Prince yuko parade anasema, you know, I told some of the boys were here and I have discovered that some of you missed classes and you decided to go and hang out with your boyfriends, and now so and so Mukureni boys will be bringing us goats and cows for so and so, but before that she's going to make the flower beds on both sides of the road that is leading from the gate to the dining hall. If I'm not wrong, that gate, the length of that gate, like both sides could have gotten to 3 kilometers, and it was full of stones and pebbles and stuff. And she was told to alime hiyo, she makes a flower bed so that when Mukureni boys come to give us dowry, they were not going to be disappointed by what they saw. At least they'll see that she takes care of her home, of their home. Yeah. And then one other time we were having a geography lesson. So the teacher has already come, put the books on the table, prepared for the geography lesson, and he's introducing or reminding us, or I don't know, we were just talking about what we had studied the previous lesson. And somebody had gone outside to the washroom, akakuja, and they spotted OJ akiwa uko nje. Yeah? So akakuja akasema, told the deskmate and the person next to him, OJ yako hapa, OJ yako hapa. And now the word spread that OJ ako shule. Sasa mwalimu alikuwa amekaa place kama hivi, and then the door was, you know, as in the door used to be right next to where the teacher used to. Let me tell you, mwalimu alizin, the way when guys heard that OJ is here, as in we don't know vile mwalimu alijipata nje. Mwalimu, the desk, and the books, the schemes of work, all of them were outside, and we were there, yeah, OJ. You know, we were cheering, OJ is doing nini, and everybody was so excited. And then when that excitement subsided, because OJ had to go to the office, we went back to class, and the teacher was so upset. And because he was a young man, he was there, he was like, you know, even OJ, I don't know, I'm good looking than OJ, I don't know what was that shenanigan, but anyway, he was so disappointed. And I know part of it was because we had opted, as in the hype of seeing OJ and stuff like that and disrupting the class. Anyway, yeah, that was another thing. And then finally, we used to have, for Form 2, we used to have a biology class that was built and had asbestos that used to make the class feel so hot. Like, it used to feel like 40 degrees in that class. So you're there doing practicals, and you have a microscope, and you're there looking at specimens. Then after you finish, you go and I don't know what, then you go and titrate all those things, and it's hot. Then you just end up dozing. I used to be one of those people who used to doze in that class. So this day, the teacher has prepared specimens. He has set the laboratory ready for all of us, each group, the way they're going to come and conduct the experiment. Their Highness to Q have decided we are not going to go to the lab. It's too hot for our comfort. We are just going to stay here in this class and pass time. Yeah, and by passing time meant making noise. It was a double lesson. Unknown to us, or I think we just ignored, because we us, I think from 2, the Q class, we used to be like, so what you gonna do? And the principal was teaching Kiswahili in the next class. So she comes and she's like, don't you have classes? We have a class. What are you supposed to be studying? Biology. And why are you not there? Why haven't you gone to the biology class? Because it's too hot. And the principal was like, so am I supposed to call your parents so that they can come and build you a lab made of glass? Yes. Guys, we were made to kneel down for the whole double lesson, and we were okay kneeling, you know, as in, yeah. Then we come to Form 3. No, sorry, in Form 2, we were also, as in there was this thing that we were imitating teachers. Apparently, in our class, people were imitating the Kiswahili teacher. Like, we used to read and talk like the Kiswahili teacher, and word got to her, and she was so upset that she forwarded us to the principal. And I think some of us ended up being suspended. If not, we ended up doing a punishment, yeah? And now we come to Form 3. In Form 3, there emerged this group of G7, it was the Grade 7, and the Nairobians. So this group used to be, as in, if anything has happened in the Q class, this used to be the culprits, like the number one culprits who have done I don't know what and the other thing. And I don't know, one of those groups or someone who knew that that group is going to be implicated decided to take alcohol and vile alifikisha kachupa nusu akaiwacha hapo kwa gate so that the principal can come and see it. Akaendelea akasema hii class hata inakuanga ya walevi sijui nini. Yeah, and then I remember towards the end of that Form 3, we had become so naughty and we used to have cases right, left and center. Some things are just here and there. As in, there used to be something about the Q class that is annoying the administration. So when we got to Form 3, Prince decided, let me just call these parents so that we can have a word about their children. Okay, we went home like today, and the following day, the meeting was called. And now, the funny thing is, when the meeting was called and parents have assembled in the hall, instead of the parents sitting on the first bench, they sat on the benches that began in the middle. And so the principal was like, parents, please come forward so that we can begin the meeting. The parents of the 4Q class, the 3Q class, nobody went to the front. Princey tried convincing these parents to go to the front. They refused. And Princey was so agitated. And, you know, she ended up telling our parents, you're just like your children, you know. Like, my dad has never forgotten those words because in the evening, alikuja akaniambia, you know, huyo principal wenu alitutukana. And I'm like, aliwaambia nini? Alisema, nyinyi na sisi hatuna, tunafanana. And my dad actually was like, okay, what's wrong with this miss? Like, anyway, the apple does not fall far from the tree, but I think that was not called for from the principal. Yeah. Then they also got the habit of guys used to revenge. It started in Form 3, I think. Oh, that is when it hits. Like, so ukinikosea, I'm not going to come after you. In fact, it's okay. But when you wake up tomorrow, people used to shave people's hairs, like this hair of mine, and someone will just come when you are asleep and you dip makasi into your hair and yeah, they wanakunyoa. So in the morning you are there, you know, they used to do your hair nicely in high school. You slicked your edges, I don't know what. Then over here, like this, you look like, you know, those cocks that they usually have. That thing that it used to be called a plum, mama, it used to be called a what? Yeah, or a motional that has hair some places and doesn't have it. Anyway, you're getting the gist of what I'm trying to say. If they do not shave your hair, what they used to do was they wait for everybody to go to the classes, and then somebody pours a lot of water on your bed. The bed soaks water until it looks like it's dry because of the amount of water that is in that bed. And then unakuja, when you're coming from prep, because preps used to end at 10 o'clock, so you are coming to sleep. And sometimes you can just come and just throw yourself on the bed and chill, and then you go to sleep, yeah? When you just place yourself on that bed, it squeezes all the water and all the water pours under the bed and I don't know, everywhere, yeah? And whom are you going to report? Unless you know someone and you actually saw someone, you have no case against them, yeah? Yeah. And then, yeah, people used to revenge. There are some people even who used to throw. This one, I know the person, but we are not mentioning name on this video because yeah, privacy. There is someone who used to throw beddings in the toilet, like takes all the beddings of her enemy, throws them in the toilet. And that was life in Form 3. And then in Form 4, when we did the mock, initially what used to happen, you would study for the whole term, then you do end of term exams, and then you study for 2 weeks, then you go for a 2 weeks break. But after mock, we were tired, and then we decided, you know what, we don't want tuition. So we told the head girl, she was in our class, to go to the principal and tell her that guys do not want tuition, we want to go home. She allows us to go home for 1 week, and then we come back for another 1 week, and then we continue with the tuition for 2 weeks, then we go home for another 1 week. And guys actually signed, like if you don't want tuition, you sign. If you want tuition, you sign. I was among those people who signed number 1, we don't want tuition. And the principal was so mad, akasema, in fact, we are not going to go for that tuition. We're going to go home for 1 week, come back for 1 week, and go back home for 2 weeks. She's not going to allow us to dictate the way we are going to read in that school. Sisi ni nani? I was like, okay, bring it on. And we paid for the whole tuition, but yeah, we just went home. And then the thing that I remember to date was the way Tahidi High School used to come to school to act and to advise people, and I don't know what, And so I remember we had been told on a Friday evening that OJ is going to come. I think Abel Mutua was on that crew. What was this man called? Kilunda. And Miss Morgan, that whole entire crew was going to come on Friday. Then we were going to spend the evening together, and then the next day was a weekend to start the whole. There are people who were going for drama, and that was the gist of that weekend. So we go to the hall. 7 at 7, 8 nobody, 9 nobody, 10. We saw a car parked outside the gate. The headlights were on, so we were like, hey, wamefika. We were so excited. We went and sat down. We waited for Kina OJ to come. Hey, we were so happy. Guess what? Madam Principal, she came to the dining hall. She told us, guys, there are hours that we cannot allow entertainers to come into the school. They are going to disrupt the schedule of the day. We had given them 7 to 10, and now they are coming at 10, and we cannot allow them into the school. Nilisikia tu stima tumezimwa. And then, when plastic plates are flying in the air, they make some noise. So uko too easy, because you're like, if you lift your head like this and it's dark, you risk being hit by a plastic cup or a plastic plate. They were just flying. People are booing the principal. I don't know what. She didn't back down because she didn't let those people in, but the plates, I know she was hit by either a plate or a cup. And then she went. And we went and carried on the evening. As in, we were disappointed. We just went to sleep. And for most of us, it was a normal day. And then the next day, like I mentioned, guys were going for drama. So at 10, bado watu hajaenda. And so you're like, kwa nini watu hajaenda hii drama? As in, what are they waiting for? And it's 10, they started going at 8. Dramas, there's at 11. What are they waiting for? Form 4s, we never used to go for drama. And music festival, ndio tusome. And we are the ones who are causing dramas. So what is happening? So word came that offices or staff room, they are missing. And they waited, wakatafuta funguo. And then they decided, what, let's just break into this staff room, because the props, everything about drama was in the staff room. Lo and behold, when they broke into the staff room, it was a mess. Like, people were so annoyed. The way you watch in movies, like someone was so annoyed, they brought the wall down, and then they threw everything away across the table, and that is how the staff room was. Like curricular activities, circulars, notices from the ministry, the way they used to be hanged on the wall, they had been torn from the wall, they had been shredded into pieces. And then the staff room, like the books, the schemes of work, we had done a cut. Those books were on top of the desks of various teachers. Mtu alikuwa anashika hivi kitabu, and you go like, you tear it, schemes of work za walimu zikararua. We didn't even get our results because we had been given our papers, and now the marks have been torn. That was the state of affairs in the staff room. Yeah. So people went for drama, and on Monday, cases ikaanza. Who told the nini? Who brought the staff room down? I do not know what. Of course, the culprits had to come from 4Q. So I remember most guys in my class, they were taken, and people, I think, almost went for G's, because I remember guys went for suspension. I do not know if they were the real culprits, or the staff room or the administration just decided because 4Q is very naughty, this whole thing has to come from 4Q. anyway, that we cannot discuss here because I don't have all the details. Yeah, but that is what happened. And I remember guys went for suspension. We didn't summer for a whole week because there were no marks, there were no schemes of work. Remember, Ministry of Education usually come into schools to check if you people are complying with the rules. And so yeah, we had to pause this studying for a week, and so that the teachers can compile and bring the staff room back to order as other people went for suspension. Then finally, there used to be this person that guys used to call Yellow Man. I have no idea if he was a real person or he was, how do you call, is it a fairy tale? Or I have no idea if he was made up or if he was real. Apparently people used to see a man, akuwa amevaa yellow and ako na kawig hapo kwa hanging lines. And ati ukienda kuanika towel yako unampata huko, and people would scream and run. And I remember one person, I'll not mention her, alikimbia out of the dormitory area akiwa tuna katawel ameenda mbio because anapiga tu nduru. But I used to wonder what made us not come together as for Q and tushike umse war, as in tukua madem wote, one man versus 300 madem, surely people. Anyway, that was my life in 4Q. It was so interesting for me. I used to find it interesting, amusing, as in me, I had amazing moments. From going to funkies, going to contests, going to trips, mischief, markets, like a million, as in, so some were so trivial, but the administration magnified them. Some were mind-blowing. I'm like, guys, how can you do that? You know, but it was just, for me, I had a moment, I had a blast. I do not regret being a member of 4Q because every moment was worth it. As in, for me, it was super worth it. And you know, like when you finish Form 4 and you've finished studying, you usually get, what is it called? Like matchsticks to light a bonfire. Yeah, because Mokorene boys were on that side of the valley, we were on this side of the valley. So sometimes we used to compete who is going to have the biggest bonfire. And so you would light fire, they'd light fire. As in, you could see whose fire is lighting more than the other, and you could continue burning more books because who needs books anyway? And you finished Form 4. Yeah, our year, we were not given matchboxes to light a bonfire, but guess what? Moto iliwashwa. I do not know where people got matchsticks, but we lit a fire. Yeah, that is how deadly my class was. And I loved it. I super loved it. Yes. Would I go back there? Hell no to the no. I lived my life and I do not regret it, but I loved it. So until next time, bye.